Dear students, in today's lecture we will discuss about the common ion effect. So as the name indicates that common ion, there are two reactions in which one of the ion will be common. So this type of effect will be called as common ion effect. Same ion produced by two different substances in a solution form, that is called common ion. Now how we can define it? It is the degree of ionization of an electrolyte, that is salt, when it is suppressed or decreased by the addition of another electrolyte having a common ion in both the cases. This effect is called as common ion effect. Or another way, decrease in the solubility of a sparingly soluble salt by the addition of another substance having a common ion to the first one. In both the cases you can define it in both the ways. Now let's suppose the example of potassium chlorate. When potassium chlorate, which is a sparingly soluble salt, or it may be called as less soluble salt, when it is dissolved in water, it will decompose to form potassium ion and chlorate ion. Another salt like potassium chloride, it is added to the same solution, it will also ionize to form potassium ion and chloride ion. Now if you see, in both the cases potassium ion is present, in the first one as well as in the second one. The first salt, that is potassium chlorate, that is called as less soluble salt, or it's also called as sparingly soluble salt, while potassium chloride is more soluble, it is also called a strong electrolyte. Now when it is dissolved, potassium is produced. This potassium will increase the concentration of potassium in the first reaction, and this ion is common in both the cases. Now what will happen? According to Le-Chatelier principle, when the concentration of products are increased, the reaction will move in backward direction. Now this common ion will tend to move the first reaction in backward direction because the concentration of potassium is increased. Now this type of effect in which in both the reaction one of the ion is common, this is called as common ion effect. Secondly, there are some applications of common ion effect, in which the first one is precipitation of sparingly soluble salt from its saturated solution. Let's suppose the example of a sparingly soluble salt, which is calcium oxalate. When dissolves, it will produce calcium ions and oxalate ions. If we add a small quantity of more soluble salt like calcium chloride to this solution, so calcium chloride will also decompose to form, which will also ionize to form calcium ion and chloride ion. Now if we see again, in both the reactions calcium ion is common. There is calcium ion in the first reaction and there is calcium ion in the second reaction as well, as both are present in one reaction mixture. So the concentration of calcium in the first reaction is increased. Again the reaction number 1, it will move in backward direction, and more calcium and oxalate will react to form calcium oxalate. So in this way calcium oxalate will be precipitated from its saturated solution. Now the amount of calcium ions and oxalate ion will decrease in the amount of calcium oxalate in solid form. It will increase in the reaction mixture because of the addition of calcium chloride. This effect is basically known as common ion effect, in which the solubility of a sparingly soluble salt is decreased by addition of another salt in which one of the ion is common. Now next is another example of common ion effect is purification of NaCl. Purification of NaCl is done by passing HCl gas through a saturated solution of sodium chloride or brine solution. Now sodium chloride is already present in the solution form, in which sodium ions and chloride ions are present. When HCl gas or HCl aqueous solution, when it is dissolved in this solution, now it will become aqueous solution. It will decompose to form hydrogen ions and chloride ions. Now if you see again, chloride ion in both the cases is common. So due to the addition of chloride in this reaction, the sodium chloride sodium ions and chloride ions, they will react together to form sodium chloride. Thus the reaction will move in backward direction, and in this way more and more sodium ions and chloride ion will react to form more and more sodium chloride, and that sodium chloride produced will be in pure form. So in this way sodium chloride can be purified by passing HCl gas through the brine solution. This is the industrial method on which sodium chloride is purified on larger scales. Now, all the cases discussed in the common ion effect, they follow the principle of Le Chatelier, because Le Chatelier principle says that whenever a system at equilibrium is disturbed, it will tend to move in such a direction in order to minimize the effect of the change which has been brought. Now, if you see in this reaction, HCl is going to add chloride ions to the first one. The equilibrium condition of sodium chloride is disturbed. Now the products are added to the sodium chloride solution, and it will move in backward direction in order to minimize chloride ions, and again it will attain equilibrium after some time. But if you are going to add continuously chloride ions or continuously HCl is added, so it will increase chloride ions and the reaction will move in backward direction, and more sodium chloride will be precipitated from this solution. Now another application of this common ion is decrease in the ionization of ammonium hydroxide due to the addition of ammonium chloride. So let's suppose ammonium hydroxide is present in equilibrium state, ammonium ions are present and hydroxide ions are present. When ammonium chloride is added to this solution, so it will increase ammonium ions in this reaction mixture, and these ammonium ions are common in both cases. Now it will increase ammonium ion in the first reaction, and the first reaction will move in backward direction, and more ammonium hydroxide will be produced in this case. So this type of effect is basically common ion effect, and it's following the principle of Le Chatelier. That's all about common ion effect. I hope you will understand the concept, and if you like the video, if you understand the concept, then please subscribe my channel and press on the bell icon in order to get notification about the new videos. Thank you.